Alright guys, Brian here, and today I'm giving you what you guys have all been waiting for, the eagerly anticipated look at Menasor, the combined mode for the Stunticons. And he looks cool. So to start off with, yes, I know drag strip and breakdown should be swapped, but, well, look down a bit guys, come on. But, they're not quite the same length in leg mode. Breakdown doesn't quite work with leg mode with Offroad as well as Breakdown does, because Offroad is a bit longer than Breakdown is in leg mode, so therefore they don't really work well as a pair of legs. Drag strip though does work well with Breakdown. Offroad. His name is Offroad. So that's why I swapped the two of them. I'd prefer if I could have them swapped, but I'm okay swapping them because that's kind of the nature of Combiner Wars. Now, look back up at his head a bit, stop looking at his feet. There you guys go. So, he of course can hold his weapon, the Menasor sword, and holds it significantly better than Superion holds his weapon, so I'm grateful for that. And as you can see, I just kind of stored the weapons for the other guys all around on them, so I can just kind of keep them together. In his back, not too much backpack. I really wish there were tabs on his, what's his name? His name escapes me for a moment. What the crap is his name? Motormaster is his name. I really wish there were tabs on Motormaster's chest to let these things plug in, because that would give one extra layer, or one extra further layer of locking in. Oh my god, he lost his foot! Ah, all fixed. It would give one extra further layer of solidity to these arms, which can occasionally do that and come unpegged when you don't want them to. So I tried to do what I can with it, and I'm super tempted to just take a Dremel and carve some holes in here somewhere, but I don't want to. So instead I try to just, keep it in mind as I'm messing with them. I should also point out that I am not transforming him correctly, because if you transform him correctly, he looks kind of dumb. So I will show you what that looks like. Basically, you're supposed to tilt his legs out farther, and these panels are supposed to plug into his thighs. I don't do that because this looks like a better proportioned guy to me. But to do it officially, there you guys go. There's his official transformation scheme. And he looks super wide-legged and kind of dumb looking. And for some reason doesn't want to stay standing up. Wow! Even Menasor doesn't like this. So let's get back to my method. So there he is back in my configuration. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into some size comparisons once I get him to a more natural stance. So let's go ahead and start off with his Combiner Wars counterpart, Superion. Again with my leg extending variation. And I like this height difference. I like Menasor being a bit short and being brutish and looking like he's just going to be a thug. I'm okay with this completely. Up next, we have Make Toys Green Giant. And Menasor is basically a head taller than Green Giant. And that's decent enough for me. I'm okay with that. I know some people want their Devastator to be huge, but I don't really care. And the next combiner to compare him with is the MBC Military Titans Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, who has very shiny chest right now because of the way my lights are set up. There we go. They are basically the same height. I'm okay with that. That's cool. I dig it. And because he's here, here is TFC's Uranos. And you guys can't even see Uranos' head, so I'm going to pick you up for a moment. Careful. There we go. A head and a half or so taller than Menasor. So that's actually kind of cool. Actually, that height difference is actually one of the things I liked about the Uranos Green Giant combination is because I liked Superion being taller than Devastator. But let's go ahead and throw Menasor. I forgot his name for a second. Let's throw some Voyagers and Deluxes in here to see how things stack up. And I don't really have a Megatron that I like all that well for a Earth mode Megatron. So there's Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Optimus Prime, specifically the first edition version. And since I showed her off with Superion, there's Windblade, who's having trouble standing right at the moment, and Chromia, my general size comparison figure. So, Menasor towers over them pretty menacingly, actually. And I kind of dig that. Even Optimus is like, you know, half as tall as him. Like, okay, yeah, that looks like it'd be troublesome for Optimus to deal with. But let's go ahead and start talking about Menasor's articulation, and I'm going to work from the bottom up because that makes it easier. His feet are on a swivel because they're on a peg, so they can go around wherever you want and fall off very easily. There. Just like Superion, they've got that toe which can rotate around a lot and can actually quite help with getting some interesting poses. So I like this heel toe thing. At his knee, he's got a rotation and a knee joint that works pretty well. Like full 90 degrees. He's got a, well, because of the fact that I am not doing it correctly and not plugging these things in, he does have a thigh swivel, basically. Which is kind of cool. I think it's cool. He's got forward and backward movement. He's got, like, a pain in the butt in and out. But he does have in and out. His thighs are pretty damn tight. And, hey look, everything fell apart back here just by moving things around. And you guys can't even see. And things are falling apart. Menasor here is a bit finicky, unfortunately. I don't know why, but he is, and it's kind of bugging me. Alright, continuing on. Menasor does indeed have a waist joint. His crotch piece gets out of the way very nice because it's on that really kind of awesome triple hinge, is it? Yeah, basically a triple hinge. Hinge, hinge, hinge. That's 3 hinges. I'm going to call that a triple hinge. Hey, stop going down. Damn it. This guy's a little finicky. It's kind of annoying, too. His head. His head is kind of glorious because it can go back and forth however you want it, how far you want it to. It's also on, his head is also on a rotation joint, so you can move it all around. I love that his horns are rotatable, which, you know, are for transformation mostly, but I kind of dig it because you can get some emotes like, oh, I let Megatron down. Oh, I let Megatron down. We're going to the park. We're going to the park. We're going to the park. His arms are on the hinge, not the hinge, the combiner port, and can rotate all around, but that kind of gets in the way. So you can move him around, but again, his arms completely like freaking falls apart like that, and it's very frustrating if you actually want to try and get him in a pose because this peg is the only thing that's plugging in to secure this entire arm, and it doesn't do a good enough job doing it. There you go. Now it's plugged back in. And if I try to even just grab here and rotate, nope, doesn't hold it at all. That's why I wanted something to hold these in. This is my biggest gripe with this figure is these arms. But if you hold that down and keep that in mind and don't break down Dead End's arms out like I constantly am doing, he does have, and he just punched you. Wow, Menasor does not like you guys. Menasor has full articulation on his arms, can go in and out, all the way around. Just, god damn it, these arms just suck so much. Alright, past that. He does have bicep swivel. He does have freaking hand that opens up all the time. This guy is finicky as get out. So, double hinged elbow. His hands are the exact same as Superion's, and I'm just going to take it off because it's going to fall off and just bug the crap out of me. So, it's on a port, so it has rotation when it's actually inside his arm. the fingers are all one molded piece and like to fold in on each other. And there's a hair there somewhere. They like to fold in on the hand sometimes, and that's annoying. The thumb is glorious because it can do whatever you want with it. Go as far as you want. And the cannons are kind of silly looking, but oh well. Alright, so let's go ahead and give you my final thoughts on Menasor here. He is finicky as hell. No, he's not finicky as hell. He is very finicky and rather annoying sometimes. Just getting him into poses that you want. And it's frustrating. I don't like that. But when you finally do get him in a pose that he's willing to stay in, he does look pretty darn impressive. So I like the look of him. I like the individual figures. It's just the combined mode needs to be more solid and just, I don't know. I'm glad to have him. I'm glad to have him on a shelf. I'm just not in love with posing him. So it's kind of a, like, I don't know, I'd rather have him than not have him, so I'm glad to have him. It's just frustration occasionally. But there's my final thoughts on the guy. I'm curious to know what you guys think of Menasor and the Stunticons in general. So go ahead and leave a comment. Hey, don't piss me off when I'm doing my outro, please. Please, just work for me one last time. I'm almost done with you. So if you have any comments or questions or want to say anything about my videos, go ahead and say something down there. Bye, guys.